Thanks for coming to my micro drawings channel to check out my micro drawings. There's a Q-tip, Copic sketch, or Copic multiliner, pencil, and quarter for reference to let you see how small this is going to be. And sorry about the lighting here. I was next to a bright sunny window and that produced some additional shadows, but hopefully you can still enjoy the picture. In this case, I am starting with a facial feature as I usually do. Started with Fred Flintstone's nose. And then from that, I went down along his face, putting his cheeks in and his mouth. I'm just kind of using that as my anchor point to draw in the rest of his facial features. And there I'm putting his hair in. That dark shadows from the sun over my shoulder. So again, apologize for that. There I'm coloring in his hair. And again, I'm using a Copic multiliner 0.03 black pen. And I'm just lightly touching that sometimes to get the wispier lines, but there's not a lot of wispy lines in this. More so in the natural pictures that I draw, like the northern pike from the other day. There I'm working down along Fred's back and his butt and his arms, going up to the steering wheel. And I've sped up this video. This one took longer than normal. Is one of the ones I've been the most happy about, I guess, as far as how it turned out. Just took a little longer. There's a lot of detail, especially with the car. So there I'm just continuing to put Fred in there. And then using him as an anchor, I'm adding the car to him. And there I'm getting the logs or branches on the side that hold the front wheel in place. Can you imagine how heavy this thing would actually be? And those stone roller wheels, probably 700 to 800 pounds a piece. So I guess it would go really fast on a downhill. There's Q-tip and quarter for reference. And back to the Copic multiliner pen. There I'm adding in his chair. I tried to go, lighter, looser lines with the log because it's more of a natural object, of course. And there we go, bringing that back for the rear axle and that stone tire or wheel. And there I'm just adding some lines, like cracks or lines in the wood. And then here's the support for the canopy up above him. Tried to get these lines as small as I could, and they're always a challenge because I want to get them small, but I also need leave enough so that I can color them in with the Copic sketch markers too. So they're just continuing the bracing. And I don't know if that's bamboo or what. One of the supports going out over Fred, it looks like has a couple cracks or perpendicular lines on it like bamboo would have. So I suppose that's what it is. Must be red bamboo. At least back in Fred Flintstone's days. So there's pretty much drawn in with a black pen. There's a quarter for reference. You can see it covers it up completely. Q-tip for reference. And I'll put a pencil for reference as well. You can see that eraser itself is about the size of Fred. So then I'm moving on to the Copic sketch markers. In this case, this is my orange. And I'm going to use that for the main part of Fred's shirt. And then off to the side, I've got a piece of paper that I test out the colors on. His blue collar is probably what caused me the most challenge here. I didn't quite have a turquoise color that matched it, so I got a blue that I felt was close enough. Hopefully it looks okay. There's a pencil for reference while I was checking out the colors. So there I'm using a cotton pearl for the skin tone. And Fred actually has two different skin tones, one on the rest of his face and then around his mouth, like where his beard would be, I suppose. It's a little darker. And when I'm using the fine tip end of these Copic sketch markers, I will often rotate the paper around so that I can push that fine tip right up to the black, or leave it a little short even, because the ink will bleed into the paper ever so lightly or slightly. So I have to account for that sometimes. And there's the red for the wood. Must be redwood. So again, I'm working up to the black line. I'll have to rotate it over when I get the bottom of that main chassis piece of wood. And again, you can see the quarter for reference, and basically Fred and his car is the size of Washington's head on a quarter. So if you have a quarter at your disposal, take that out and take a look at the head on there, and that's the size of this drawing. It's always neat to see them in person, or to share them with people in person, because when people see the actual size of them, not just a close-up here on a video, they're usually pretty surprised by how small they actually are. So there I'm ever so lightly touching the red fine tip of that Copic sketch marker to fill in those bamboo poles. And here I'm working on the bottom of the main chassis. So again, just sneaking right up to that black line. Thankfully, that black Copic multi-liner doesn't bleed when these sketch markers touch up against it. Again, quarter for reference. Thanks for watching to this point. If you're still there, if you haven't considered subscribing, please do so. You can get updates on other drawings I do. I do other subject matter, pretty much anything. I've got a list. Everybody keeps giving me ideas. So I do a daily challenge where I'm posting and sharing a drawing each day. And I'm trying to get a little more regular with posting the videos of me drawing. So there's a pencil for reference. And there I'm putting the side of the stone. Stone is more of a white on one edge and a sand brown type of color on the other edge. So again, just working that around, turning the paper, rotating the paper to get that fine tip where I need it. And this is the part where I'm trying to find the right blue. So there's a quarter for reference, Q-tip for reference, and off to the side, I believe I had about 8 different colors of blue, and I was just struggling to find out which one I thought I would need. There was his beard, or his shadow part of his face around his mouth where a beard would be if he wasn't clean shaven. So I was looking for blues, and I decided I'm going to just use the skin tone and get this over with. And then I was visiting the blues again, so again, I apologize. You could skip forward about 5 seconds here. Or you can just take a look at it compared to that Q-tip. And I'll be right back shortly with some blue color for his collar and his tie. Here's a pencil for reference. So you can see he's, top of the car, to the bottom of the car, maybe the metal part of the pencil that holds the eraser to the wood. I'm sure there's a name for that. Let's call it a pencil collar. That'll probably work. And kind of fun drawing some of these pictures from years ago. I can remember in the 80s watching Fred Flintstone cartoons. And there we go. I finally decided on a blue. Again, sorry about that. Getting that color in there. Just touching it along that thin line that's drawn in there. So again, thanks for watching till the end here. Appreciate it. And if you'd like to see more work, Please subscribe and share with other people that might be interested. This is a colorless blender I'm using. I had gone over a little bit with the blue. So that colorless blender basically dissolves the ink. And in this case, helps me to erase it a little bit. So there it is, pretty much finished up. Just need to put the date, 7/10 of 2020. Hope you enjoyed the video. And I'll switch it to a little closer up image here in just a moment after I compare it to the quarter, Q-tip, and pencil again. Thanks a lot.